Thank you, Kate. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. My name is Rachel Suntop. I'm an on-campus GSLIS student here at the university. This is my last semester. In fact, I'll be graduating next month. And I decided to do an in-depth study on makerspaces and libraries. This is something that I'm really interested in because I've actually been participating in the makerspace on campus quite a bit. And I wanted to know that it didn't look like there were any classes that were offered on library makerspaces, so I actually decided to create an independent study to study more of these topics in depth. So, let me get the next one. Under the guidelines of Professor Emily Knox, who has been my advisor for this independent study, I've created my own syllabus. And this syllabus I have been working on actually since December. It's a constantly evolving syllabus. I have created all of the readings, and I did a lot of research on the various topics that I would be doing. And I also created assignments, and also at the end of the syllabus is a list of different resources that I recommend, both visual and videos and things like that. So I'm going to now outline some of the topics that I've been studying this semester, and there's been a lot of different things. So if you want to go to the next slide. Yeah. So libraries and makerspaces, there's a lot of different types of libraries that offer makerspaces. The first ones to really come to this country that were really notable are public library makerspaces, and the first one came out in 2011. This is an example of one in Pittsburgh, the Carnegie Institute in Pittsburgh, and it's called the Labs. So we're on the next slide. Academic libraries started a little bit later than public libraries. They actually started in 2012, so a year later. And actually this library here, University of Nevada, Reno, was the first academic makerspace, or sorry, first academic library to actually have a makerspace in this country. Next slide, please. So in addition, there's also school makerspaces, school library makerspaces, and the city of Urbana-Champaign actually has an incredible amount of resources available for the maker movement. And if you want to participate in makerspaces, this is the place to be. One of the places is the Urbana Free Library's Maker Lab, and I visited there and actually got a tour around with Kim Naples, who works there. In addition to this, we also have Urbana Makerspace, which is at the Independent Media Center, and we also have the Fab Lab, which is on campus, and they're open probably about 4 nights a week or so. So there's a lot of different really exciting things going on in this town, and I've been to all of them, and they're all really different, and they all have really interesting things to offer. So if you want to go on to the next slide. So some of the technologies I wanted to learn more about what people actually make in the makerspaces. So first thing that comes to your mind probably is 3D printing, right? So yes, I have done some 3D printing. I haven't done a lot of it. There's still a lot for me to learn in this area, but it's definitely a very exciting thing that a lot of makerspaces are jumping aboard on. Next. Additionally, there's laser cutters. These are really exciting. They can cut through glass, plastic, all sorts of interesting materials, and create really fascinating results. And if you want to go on to the next slide. Textiles is particularly interesting to me because I have a master's degree actually in textile design from the University of Nebraska in Lincoln. And for years I've been making my own costumes. I've been making textiles. I've done 2 artist residencies, one in Iceland, where I used a lot of textiles, knitting, felting, things like that. And so this is a really, really interesting area to me that I would really like to learn more about. Next. So in addition, I've studied each week I've done a different topic. So I wanted to learn more about what was behind the whole Makerspace movement. So I actually looked into the history of the maker movement. So that's really important to really familiarize oneself with if you're going to be doing studies in library makerspaces. I looked into how makerspaces are constructed, what goes on in terms of the planning behind the makerspaces. There's I looked at different people that use makerspaces, adults, children, teens, and also the various challenges that makerspaces libraries encounter. Some of these libraries are not exactly very welcoming to makerspaces, and there are certain challenges such as a lack of space, lack of funding, and that kind of thing. Additionally to that, makerspaces tend to, although they're getting better, they tend to have a lower amount of women and people of color as opposed to white males. And that's, of course, not the case in all makerspaces, but it's something that's definitely noticeable. And so there's been a lot of ways that they've tried to come out and recruit women and underrepresented populations. This is not just a United States phenomenon, this is all over the world. So I looked at makerspaces in Norway, Australia, Canada, pretty much everywhere. And then I also wanted to know there's some jobs in employment. There are jobs coming out to work in library makerspaces. So I wanted to learn a little bit more about that. So if you go next, please. So the assignments that I created for myself. The first assignment, I did an interview with Kim Naples of the Urbana Makerspace, the Urbana Free Library Tea Makerspace. And then I wrote 2 short papers on selected topics, the first one being STEM versus STEAM in makerspaces, and then the other one being about small and rural library makerspaces. Lastly, I'm working on a final project. This is just, in the works right now, but I'm working on creating a timeline that showcases various public libraries around the United States and creating kind of an online exhibit, so to say, of this research. You want to go to the next one? So there's lots of resources available. Unfortunately, this is a very new topic. So there's actually a real lack of academic material. That's one of the challenges I ran into this. I've been searching online for lots of academic material, and there really isn't a lot at this point. Although, as this subject is evolving, there's some excellent books that are coming out. There's all kinds of videos that you can watch, really interesting multimedia presentations, blog posts, and everything. So there's more stuff coming out all the time. So that's just an overview of what I've been working on this semester. And I would be happy to share my syllabus with anyone or the assignments that I've been working on. Or if you have any questions or would like to talk to me more in depth, please contact me. I gave you my emails. So thank you all for being here tonight. Thanks a lot.